Well, good evening. Welcome to Behind Enemy Lines. It's going to be a somber show, I guess, after what happened yesterday, and everyone knows what happened with Charlie Kirk's assassination by the left. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what led to that, what's leading to all this violence in America and the division. And it's not from our side, no matter what they try to say to brainwash us. They're the violent ones. They're the ones that are spreading division, hate, anger, threats. They don't want us to have a voice. They talk about us being Nazis. Excuse me, to go after Trump. They don't even want us to have a chance to have a voice to speak out, right? They try to silence us. They try to dox us. They try to get rid of our jobs. You guys remember, we went through this for 10 years, right? And then when you're told repeatedly by the media over and over again that we're bad people, we're Nazis, we're communists, um, it's just ramping it up. And then the children from going through high school to college have been brainwashed. And what Charlie Kirk has done is turned the tide on that. Charlie Kirk has been the number two most concerning person in the United States of America, second to Donald Trump, right? He's the biggest threat. Matter of fact, I would say, till a few days ago, he was probably a bigger threat than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is already in office. So we're talking about going forward. He was only 31 years old, right? Think about what for the election. Think about how he's changing the hearts, minds, and souls of the kids in college, right? He was actually making a great impact that they didn't like. They had to stop it, and that led us to where we're at right now. So we're going to show some videos of some confrontations I had here in Chicago, including some people that were happy with what happened. You're going to see them calling us a Nazis and the same stuff that I just talked about a little bit, and it's going on a broader scale with President Trump. And then Mike has some stuff of nationally showing some of the praising of the murder of him, which is disgusting, right? You never see us
Yeah.
doing that on our side. Never, ever, ever seeing us. Well, maybe me. That's I just don't talk about it. Well, I probably do.
Huh.
But seriously, the people embrace murder of their opponent like this, right? So,
Yeah.
Mike, why don't I hand it off to you and you chime in here, buddy?
Well, yeah, I mean, this has been like a really sad moment for the whole country here. Um, Something's wrong with my camera shot here. Let me fix this real fast. Um, yeah, I mean, this has really been a sad moment for the whole country, or it should be. But instead, we've seen the left celebrating it, all their little activists. Now, luckily, we are getting some people to finally push back a little bit. And there is a website that went up that I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, pull up for you guys. But where all these violent leftists, again, celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, and not just that, but calling for more. They haven't had enough yet. That's the real problem. What's really scary is they think this is the start of more. They want to know who's next. They're already asking, oh, Ben Shapiro, he's still going to be talking on campus. Now Alex Jones is setting up a college campus tour. So hopefully we have more people to follow soon. Because that's why they hated Charlie Kirk, because he was effective. He wasn't even an ultra conservative, far right, whatever. He was kind of milk toast in the middle, Republican. He wasn't a far right extremist, but they didn't like him because he brought the fight to their house, to college campuses where they've been dominant and in control for decades, and it's starting to have a real impact. On Monday, there was a story I was supposed to cover on our program on the insurrection in the morning. We didn't get to it, unfortunately, but it really highlighted this. All these, it was from like Slate magazine or one of these, leftist rags, that they were upset, or all these liberals are upset because now on college campuses, conservatives, Republicans, the America First movement, they're not afraid to show who they are anymore. They'll wear, the picture for the article really said it all. They had a picture of a fraternity house somewhere with a Vance 2028 flag hanging off their roof. Now the left has to see this. They have to deal with them in the class. People are learning they can fight back. We just got another teacher, leftist teacher, fired at a professor, fired from a university in Texas because she threw a student out of the class because he pushed back on the trans indoctrination of our kids in grade schools. She got mad, threw him out of the class, but he was smart enough to film the whole thing. So now she's lost her job. What they don't like about Charlie Kirk is he inspired a lot of others to fight. He also educated a lot of people on these college campuses, going out and having these debates. I mean, you wanted to radicalize the Republicans, this is how you do it. And that's, I think Greg Gutfeld really said it well last night. That's what he pointed out, is that's what it took. You turned Charlie Kirk from a crusader into a martyr, and we aren't going to forget it. He's going to inspire a lot more brave warriors.
Yeah, my biggest concern is who's going to backfill for him. He was such a unique individual, right? And no college degree. Not that doesn't mean shit to me. I got a degree. I gave it to my mom, right? After I got out of prison, I'm like, here, I went to college. I go, here, mom. I had to check off the box just because of my background to make sure I checked off everything. And the college had nothing to do with my success in international consulting and stuff, right? It was, so the guy was brilliant though. He read books. I mean, I would watch him debate, here and colleges all over North America, Oxford, right? And the guy could pull information and data pretty much from anywhere on the fly.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
all incredible. He was an intellect. And he did it in such a way that was not confrontational, right? Even though they were confrontational with him, and I respect him for that. And I think that finding someone with that demeanor and that personality that he had to do it in such a way that you could see some of these college students that were debating him, not all of them, but some
Yeah.
of them, that their minds are thinking as he's talking, right? And then you could hear the students in the audience cheering him on and clapping. And if you remember how it was before he started doing that, oh my God, it was like, you could even, you know, wear a Republican hat on the campus without, being chastised and harassed. And, even with, my kids in college and stuff, now starting college, they're concerned. I told them to join TPUSA chapters. They're worried. They're
Yeah.
worried. It shouldn't be like that. Matter of fact, it brings up um, a story about Charlie. Hey, Mike, could you show that story with my daughter and I? At,
Yeah. Yeah. Give me just one
so,
second. I'm fixing
so
the other thing.
I had the privilege to know Charlie. Um, I had the privilege and honor to share a stage with Charlie a few years ago in Chicago, and that's at TPUSA. My twins were 15 years old, and they just graduated high school, and this was right the day after we found out that I was a domestic terrorist. So this
Huh.
ties into the bullshit that's going on, right? This is
Yeah.
when me and my wife, they got to bring two kids, all expenses paid, on Charlie and TPUSA, right? And that's as I was flying out with my family, found out that we were all labeled Quad S, and I found out I was labeled a domestic terrorist simply for peacefully. I didn't go in, I didn't fight. I left before people went in, January 6th. And then I was a very vocal school board parent, very vocal about the porn, the transvestites, and the indoctrination in my children's school. And guess what? In the last year and a half, a teacher got caught fucking a kid 51 times in Downers Grove South High School. The teacher a year ago got arrested with child pornography while they're trying to attack me and demonize me simply for saying I don't want a strap-on dildo, book, genderqueer, and all this other stuff. And they tried to attack me, the Southern Poverty and Law Center. They demonized me. I'm a racist. I hate gay people. None of that stuff's true, right? And so they've been doing that to all of us, especially Charlie Kirk. I tried to help my children after that event at TPUSA to start a TPUSA chapter. Matter of fact, I gave it to a reporter today in Downers Grove South High School, and I got the words. And they said that I got the email from a few years ago. They rejected TPUSA. They had a political group that was after school, and my kids, I told them, you do this yourself, right? Push this
Yeah.
as after school thing. Dad will kind of hover over and stuff until they push back. Sure enough, they pushed back and they tried to force my kids to go into their political group that was sponsored by a leftist organization in California, right? And so then I started sending Terry emails to them. And the one teacher pushed back. I kind of verbally abused her. Um, and called her out. And then they said, well, we don't allow national organizations to sponsor in the school, which makes no sense whatsoever. Right. Then the principal got involved. And so then I went to the website and I found out what this group is. And I can't remember what it was from California. And it was a national organization.
Of course.
And I'm like, okay, well, if in fact you're going to not allow Charlie Kirk's organization, TPUSA, to get set up within the school, then you have to get rid of this other So the win for us is they were forced to shut down, theirs. We didn't win ours to have a diverse thought in the school by these inclusive leftists. So I was able at least successfully get that to shut down within their schools. My son was football player of the week one time, and they listed him as Gavin Newsom. We're Newsom with the E. I sent a fuck you email to the superintendent. I did say I thought it was kind of funny, but it does piss me off a little bit. It's probably something I would do if I was on the other side,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
so Mike, I'm gonna let you do some talking. I did send this reporter, I got a screenshot of some of the wording they said. I want to read that. So go ahead, jump in, please.
Yeah, let me pull this up. What I was trying to get a minute ago, and then for whatever reason, the slides quit working when we went live. Charlie, so this is a website you guys can go to, see if any of your employees, maybe if you run a business there, see if any of them are disgusting leftists. New website, Charlie's Murderers, reveals vile leftists, including doctors and teachers, celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So you can also report people on there. So if you know anybody that's making these kind of disgusting remarks and reactions or calling for more political violence on the left, send it in. This is time to fight back, and this is how we do it. Again, they don't hesitate to do that when it's reversed. Remember sedition hunters going after all the anybody that attended January 6th, even if they never went in the building, never went outside, or left before anything else started. So again, we got to start fighting back like they do. We got to stop playing nice. I mean, if this didn't shock you guys into doing something, I don't know what else will. But when you're ready to go, let me know. Otherwise, I got a bunch of other stories.
Ready. I want to read part of this email. I want to read part of this email. Okay. Now listen to this leftist piece of shit, right? And the hypocrisy. So remember, my kids wanted to try to start an after-school TPUSA chapter, right? This is a school that pushed porn, drag queens, transvestites, bullshit. Right? Here's the principal after I verbally bitch slapped the other woman, right? And the left from Downers Grove watch that and they're going to say, "Oh, he said bitch slap." Yeah, I said bitch slap, right? I said that to you, to your librarian as well. All right. This is the principal back to me after I verbally bitch slapped the teacher. I would find it beneficial to have the students sharing differing perspectives in a respectful environment, working together to increase their voter participation, etc. Having said that, Miss Martinez, who I had the words with, also told the boys the steps that they need to do to take if they still wanted to pursue starting a new club, TPUSA, after they attend the existing club, which remember I said they're trying to force them into the, the leftist club. Any proposed club must meet the standard as outlined in Board Policy 7.300. While I admittedly do not know much about TPUSA, clicking on their website, I see that it establishes that one of its purposes is to, quote, take up arms in the cultural war and fight back against the prevailing establishment. So it's kind of ironic that Charlie was murdered by the same piece of shit that's putting this in here as if it was a bad statement, what he was trying to do, right? As the principal of the school, that causes me concern about the maintenance of our caring and inclusive environment. Additionally, Ms. Martinez spoke with her counterparts in the 3 other schools that the boys mentioned in their presentation. So remember, we're in a leftist liberal world. So she spoke with other leftist liberal world scumbags, right? Having TPSA clubs. One has an outside club that meets in their school, which they treat as a rental. The 2 other schools do not have any such club, but one does have a political science club, which is like the one Downers Grove had that was ran by leftists. However, that club is not affiliated with any outside organization, nor does the staff member get paid for being the sponsor, of which none of us said any of that, right? This is a bunch of bullshit. They just didn't want us, the diverse educators of the state of Illinois, didn't want to have Charlie Kirk's organization trying to enlighten our children, trying to give a different perspective of what's going on in the country. They don't want it. They don't want us to talk. They don't want us to talk and have the opportunity to share diverse ideas so much that they kill Charlie Kirk. And you guys have to wake up. I say this over and over again. We're in a war. Most people don't know we're in a war, and we're fucking losing the war. You got to wake up, fight like we're in a war. We are in a war, and we're losing it. You can't sit on the sidelines. You can't say, "Oh, I don't want to go to the school board meeting with you, Tara, and hold up the blowjob posters because I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to get harassed." Well, you know what? If we don't have a country for our children, What good is your fucking job? Right?
Yeah.
They're taking away our freedoms. They're doing it. Even with Trump, and it's a band-aid. It's a band-aid. They took out the guy that could have really transformed our country and these young kids. They took him
Yeah.
out, they killed him. They will kill us too. You gotta wake up. You gotta treat it like we're in a fucking war.
Well, exactly. We are in a war, and then that is exactly why they targeted Charlie Kirk, because he was a rising star and he was an organizer. He figured out how to beat them at their own game. Remember, they used to try to throw TPUSA off every college campus they went to. Well, enough lawsuits. Now they're scared to do that. Then that's generally the game they play with anybody on the right. We've seen it at Berkeley. We've seen it in numerous schools where if somebody on the right, Ben Shapiro or whoever else comes in, they'll shut down the event because there's a threat of violence. Well, the threat of violence is coming from these leftists. A lot of times the call's coming from inside the building, like the old horror movie trope. The calls are coming from the teachers, from the students. They're the ones threatening to get violent on their own campus as a way to not have opposing political views heard. They like to pretend we're all Nazis and fascists. And again, that's what's drummed this up over the last 10 to 20 years, where anybody they don't like is a fascist. I'm pretty sure they don't know what that word means, or they wouldn't be using it. But, again, I never accused them of being smart. And I think that's what Charlie Kirk was pointing out on these college campuses, is these little retards would come up to try to debate him. They couldn't hold their own. And that's why it was so effective. He proved in front of everybody they didn't know anything. All they had is these indoctrination talking points they got from these blue-haired moonbat leftist professors. And then as soon as they're challenged in any way, their argument breaks down. He was too effective, and that's why they shot him.
Yeah, Mike, do you want to show some of the stuff that you pulled that shows the celebration before we jump into my shit? So it really pisses everybody
Yeah,
off
yeah.
at first.
Yeah, let's
Show them, show them the celebrations of the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, and we'll just go through these rapid fire because there's a whole bunch of these. Demonic. A grinning rep Ilhan Omar mocks Charlie Kirk following his assassination. Blue Sky leftists mock and celebrate assassination of Charlie Kirk, going directly to hell. And again, it gets even worse. Do you go through Blue Sky or Reddit?
Piece of shit's full of Antifa. All the leftists went there. That's where they went. All the leftists and some of the ones that are watching right now, you pieces of shit. That's where they went and fucking hid.
Exactly. Yeah, they couldn't take it on Twitter once there's pushback for their ideas. Once it becomes an actual free speech platform where everybody can talk and doesn't worry about getting thrown off, all of a sudden they run for the hills like the little pussies they are. It gets even worse there, though, because now, again, they're asking who's next. Who's the next conservative leader that we're going to take out? They want more blood, and they're asking for it. That's why we need to go after them, go after their employers. Infuriating. Democrats shut down Rep. Lauren Boebert on House floor when she requests a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk. Sick loon Elizabeth Warren, aka Pocahontas, snaps at calls to tone down rhetoric after Charlie Kirk assassination. Oh, please, why don't you start with the president? So again, she's trying to. It's always going after. There is zero accountability on their side. They always point to somebody else and go, yeah, but this. It doesn't matter if it's January. They again act like January 6th, the worst thing since Pearl Harbor or 9/11, and always point to that as the example of right-wing extremists and violence. When again, the police killed two protesters there. If this was the other way around, we'd still be having hearings about it. Beat one poor woman to death, shot another one in the face, and zero accountability from their side. Then they like to pretend all these cops died, which didn't. There were suicides after the fact. Some of those were a little suspicious. And you had another guy die of an allergic reaction after the fact. The protesters killed no one. Leftist rag Jezebel scrambles to add editor's note to article boasting about paying witches to curse Charlie Kirk days before his assassination. Vile TMZ staff caught cheering moments before announcing Charlie Kirk's death. Outlet wildly claims it was over a car chase. Excuse obviously falls flat. A stand-up comedian calls Charlie Kirk a demon, mocks his assassination as white-on-white crime. I'm glad it happened. I got giddy reading it.
Mike, take a breather real quick. So, I got good news. So Hutz Herzenberg just sent me a text message. I just sent you a video, brand new video. He's the CEO of TPUSA Education. He's a friend of mine in Chicago. Matter of fact, I'm going to brag about this. I was a Warrior of the Month thanks to Hutz. about a year and 2 Aprils ago for TP USA Action, and for all the stuff I'm going through here, fighting for us here in Chicago. So later, show this. I just want to bring to your attention. He just sent
Yeah,
it to me.
yeah.
He said, "Hey Terry, this is from the CEO, right? Thank you." I said I was sorry to Hutz, right, about how upset I was, all of us. Charlie truly loved the Lord. He brought his faith to bear in the public square as much as any person I know. He gave his life doing that yesterday. Here's a brief video from Charlie just last week at a launch of our new prep for the New Year initiative in Fort Worth. So we're fortunate enough to have that. And this is from the CEO of one of the TPUSA divisions and a good friend of mine, a great guy, well respected. And so go ahead, you could upload it later. I just wanted
Yeah,
to
I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing it right now, so we'll have it here in a minute.
I guess I could tell a lighthearted story while you're doing that.
Go for it.
I spoke with Charlie Kirk a few years ago. My first time ever, because Charlie he came in. It was the War on Children up in McHenry County. My friend Karen Terrio invited me as the last minute because the speaker canceled, and so I was still, I was in the midst. Actually, no, I was on the end. I had stage 3 melanoma treatment. I just finished my immunotherapy. No, I'm sorry, the prostate cancer. I got 2 cancers. I'm getting my cancers confused. I was in the end of 7 months of hormone treatments, so it sucks out your testosterone. So I was like so fucked up. I was like a Democrat then. And then I was in radiation and it was awful. It was the end of my radiation. And then I get this call to speak at this event with Charlie Kirk. I couldn't say no. I wasn't myself, and I was scared to shit. I never spoke in front of a big audience like that. So I prepared my speech. It was around the stuff in the porn and stuff in Downers Grove High School. So I had everything ready. I had it printed out in like a hard copy because the screens were behind us in the stage, right? And I didn't have a laptop up there. They told me a pedestal. So I couldn't look, behind me in case I got, stuck. So I had that ready. I'm pacing. I'm scared to death. It's full. Antifa was out in front protesting us. And as you guys know me well, even in the midst of being sick and I had my sport jacket, and I'll show you that video sometime, I went out and started shit with Antifa. And then the tough guy started yelling for the police to help save him from me. Swear to God, you're going to crack up on that. And so I think it let go some of my nerves at the time. So I went back in there, I go on stage, and I had my PowerPoint with me. And I'm like, I finished. We had Charlie Kirk. We had 3 PhDs. The last one was Alex Newman. Matter of fact, I met Alex. Yeah. That's Alex. I had to pick him up the night before at the airport. I didn't even know who he was, Mike. I told my wife, I got to pick some fucking guy up. I swear to God, I didn't know who he was.
That's hilarious.
I picked him up and drove him to his hotel, and then we talked on the way. And that's how we kind of bonded. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. I was going to pick some guy up for Karen. I did her a favor. And so I go on stage and I'm like fucking like a deer in the headlight. And I'm like, oh my God, what an act to follow. We got Charlie Kirk and 3 PhDs. I went to junior college for 12 years and I'm following PhDs and Charlie Kirk. So I start my presentation. I drop the whole thing on the floor. Everyone started laughing. So it actually worked. I had people standing up and stuff because I was a little more passionate. And I was myself, and I got calmed and eased after I got started. But that was that's something I remember for the rest of my life that I have left. Meeting Alec Newman and speaking on stage with Charlie Kirk.
That's awesome. Well, I got that video you just sent over. We want to run that real quick?
Sure.
All right.
Hey everybody, I so wish I could be there right now, but I have to go to Asia, and it just didn't work with back and forth and all around. So please accept my deepest apologies. I so wish I could be with you right now. I'm just so thrilled for what the team first has accomplished, the entire Prep Your team, Hutz and Dr. Gooch. Thank you guys for your hard work and your diligence and your faithfulness putting this all together. So God bless you guys. And for all of you Prep Your students, I just can't say enough good stuff about this idea. This idea was really born largely thanks to Hutz, who said, Charlie, you're always talking about not going to college. Why don't we develop a biblically based prep year where we are able to bring students through a masterclass year of the Western canon, of biblical scriptures, of what it means to think, actually go through what logic is, what reason is, And for all you parents watching this right now, I would venture a guess. I would place a wager even that your daughter, your son, over the next year is going to learn a lot more at Turning Point Academy prep year than going to just a regular college or university. You see, at the regular college or university, it's kind of like a mill. You know, they sit in an auditorium and they just kind of teach the same thing, and it's all pablum. It's very secular. It's humanist. And even if you send them to a Christian school, it might be woke and not individualized. This is individualized teaching that is meant to raise up biblical leaders in the faith so that they can be, so your son and daughter can be understanding what Jesus wants us to do to fulfill the Great Commission, to make disciples of all nations, to love God and love people, to know what Jesus actually wants. And if we're honest with ourselves, the nation needs more young game changers like your son and your daughter that is going through prep year to really dive into these ideas, see what the Lord wants for them. And the experts that they are going to be around, the subject matter professionals, to learn what the Bible has to say, to learn, honestly, what is the Constitution? What are the Federalist Papers? What is the Declaration of Independence? To raise up biblical patriots that love this nation, but most importantly, love God and love Jesus and want to serve for his purposes here on earth. And so I'm so touched by all of you wanting to spend a year with us. I'm definitely going to make a couple appearances whenever I come through Dallas. I'm going to make a point to come see you guys. I'm so wish I could be there, but I'm booked to go to Korea and then Tokyo. And so the dates just didn't work out. And I have to give a huge speech there well before all this kind of came together. This has been a commitment I've had in my books for well over a year and a half. So please forgive me and accept my apology that I can't be there. But God bless you guys. And thank you, Hutz, and the entire team. Everybody study hard, work hard. This is a year that will form you for the rest of your life. This is a year that you will remember for as long as you live. It will set a foundation of your worldview. It will teach you apologetics. It will teach you all the great lessons of the faith. And so dive in. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Take learning super seriously. You're going to dive deeper and become wiser than any other college could get you close to. So God bless you guys, and thank you for spending the time. I'll be praying for you and hope to see you guys soon, and I will see you soon. God bless you all. Thanks so much.
It's kind of like heartbreaking knowing that it was just done last week. And
Yeah.
I know Hudson, I consider him a friend. We will have him on the show once he gets past the morning of all this stuff, and have him talk a little bit more about this new group that Hutz helped launch for them.
I was just reading about this. Like, sounds like a brilliant program too, because it is primarily faith-based, but the idea is building leaders and then teaching them the country's history as well, getting away from the indoctrination, giving them the facts and the other information they need to push back. This is a brilliant idea, having this prep year before you go into the wolves' den, the lion's den, your college campus.
Yeah. So I just wanted to, I mean, that's cool that we were able to show something like that.
Yeah.
So thank you, Hutz. If you see this, I don't know if you're going to see it. Probably not going to see this, but I'll send it to you anyway. So go ahead, Mike. Continue with slamming these liberal scumbags.
Yeah, we got a few more, and I may grab the video for this one in a little bit because it's freaking heartbreaking. Young woman who witnessed Charlie Kirk's assassination says liberals in the crowd were cheering after he was shot. And yeah, she has a video of this up, and it's just disgusting. Breaking: MSNBC, fires Matthew Dowd after he blamed Charlie Kirk for his own assassination. And then we got this other one from Blue Sky, but basically that's the same as before, but just a different source. And again, it isn't just that they're mocking and celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. It's that they're calling for more. They want more blood.
Yeah. So there's a guy from Chicago. Let's see. Let me click on this here. Show more. I tagged this piece of shit. He was cheering. He's got his arm up in the crowd. Did you see that one? Did I send? I didn't send that to you, did I?
Let me look real quick. Cheering. He's got his arm up in the crowd.
His name. It's Imminent Chaos. He's from Chicago. His account is down. Let me send you this screenshot so you have it. I sent you another little video clip. And everyone knows that watches this show. We've got radical leftist Nazi scumbag all over Downers Grove. They just arrested a guy, and that's in the video. A small or not, it's a newspaper story, I think, Mike.
Okay, I'm getting it right now.
Full of semi-automatic weapons and gear to kill ICE in Downers Grove. So remember, we're full of leftists that want porn, drag queens, transvestites, hate Charlie Kirk, indoctrinating our children, trying to come after us just because we want to defend our children and speak our mind without being violent, without attacking gay people. This guy was just caught, and he wrote down names of politicians and ICE agents. That was the video I sent you before, the one of Hutz. I sent it to you in email, I think, and Slack.
Yeah, I've got the article right here. I'm grabbing a screenshot from that.
So this is Downers Grove. So it's for those of you from the community, let me talk about these leftist politicians, scumbags. Anna Stava Murray, state senator. Anna Stava Murray. Leslie Sadowski Fugit. They're my arch enemies, right? They push porn, drag queens, transvestites, drag Santa Claus, drag bingo in the library with children, singing Katy Perry songs, right? And I spoke out about it. And they got Antifa associates that work with them. Antifa associates. They got Antifa to come after me. They got Jeff Tischler, who's a Southern Poverty Law Center writer who wrote 2 hit pieces. All right, this is here. Here's my neighborhood. This is the guy right there. This is who Leslie Fugit, Anna Stava Murray support.
I thought you guys weren't allowed to have assault rifles there in Illinois.
Remember that, please. That's him on Blue Sky. There you go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's where all the pedophiles and leftists go.
ICE is a terrorist organization. Share them if you think we should shoot them down like dogs. This is the people that's Anna Stava Murray, Leslie Fugit support and protect. And we're going to show some videos of the hotel where this guy lives, down the block from where this guy lives. There's a Hampton Inn. And they found out in Downers Grove that the ICE agents who are coming from out of state to come in and help support all the activity that's going on with Operation Midway this week, right? So these left scumbags, and thank God they arrested this piece of shit before they found out the guys were in the hotel. So Leslie Fugit was there. And again, we're going to see the videos. Stava Murray's new boyfriend, while she's still married, this woman is a state senator. Her boyfriend was there. We got some guy that thinks he was Che from the 1960s Cuban Revolution, speaking and screaming and yelling and swearing, and they came after me. They beat up somebody before I got there. I didn't even know that till the next day when it came out. These are the loving, caring leftists calling us Nazis just because we don't agree with them. How often do we show up to a leftist demonstration with Nazi signs and tell people to be killed and all this other crazy shit? They're the ones that are causing this. They're the ones that are in the process of starting. The Democrats want to start their second civil war. They started the first one. They are trying to start the second civil war. And what scares me, what, Mike?
I said, yeah, exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
And so guys like Mike can protect himself. Lots of people, the people in southern states. Here's what scares me. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Let them start the second civil war. We'll kick their ass again. No, you know what? Republican men, you're a bunch of pussies. You won't even hold a sign up at the school to defend your children, to say a blowjob doesn't belong in your kids' books. So
exactly.
Don't sit here and say, oh, we're going to kick their ass. These scumbag pieces of shit have more balls than any of you guys in the city. So we're in a war for our families. You pussies got to get off the couch. I got grandfathers from the greatest generation, and their sons showing up at my school board meetings and to speak up for me. But the dads aren't there. The fathers aren't there.
Well, I mean, that's really what kills me about all this is anybody, or just about anybody, can show up at a school board meeting or a city council meeting and say something. I get it that not everybody can fly across the country for a rally or take time off work to go to wherever for an event for 3 days, but any one of us can budget our time so that we can go to a local school board or a local rally or a local city council meeting, and at the very least make your voice heard. But if all of us refuse to get off the couch or do anything, then nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so Mike, we're gonna show some videos and you're gonna see real time how these leftists are. So I go up first and I'm respectful at first, at respectful. Once they tip the fucking bucket over, I go full Terry like 1980s and I'm not 64 years old anymore. And they're always cowards. Doesn't I mean, like I went there and 20 of them and me by myself. I always go by myself. I even come from Trent Largo by myself, Mike, as you know, right? It's like I know
Yeah.
we're in a fucking war, and I mean, we got to act like we're in a war. So I had Antifa, these scumbags, 4 years ago when I first got into this. They said Terry Newsom told us, which is a lie, he's willing to take a bullet to fight communism. That was 4 years ago, simply because I said porn doesn't belong in my kid's school. They saw me as a threat because I wasn't scared of the school board. I called them out. I yelled at them. I swore at them. And you know what? Not everybody has to do that. Like Mike's point, you could show up at a school board meeting, but we need to fight back. And we need more people to go to school board meetings. We need more people like me to go out and confront these guys and tell them, fuck you. You ain't gonna intimidate us. They got Antifa. They would go in Chicago and they would attack people, harass them, intimidate them. Then you had the Proud Boys come into play, Mike. The
Yep.
Proud Boys. Again, I got this from Goodwill. I bought this
It's
from
their fault.
Goodwill. If this is racist, you got to call Goodwill. Don't blame me on it. I painted it yellow though. So when the Proud Boys came into play, that was to counter them. And then you got the Democrats defending Antifa and saying it's not really an organization. And then they're saying the Proud Boys are racist, white supremacist. It's an African American leader. Illinois was a guy from Mexico. They're lying to us about everything. They're trying to control us. They're trying to scare us. They're trying to intimidate us. That's why Charlie's dead. You guys got to wake up and help in some
Yeah.
capacity. You owe it for your children and your future grandchildren. You got to get off the fucking couch and help.
Yeah, and we've already got, again, it's going to be an uphill battle. We've already got CNN, MSNBC, and most of the mainstream media covering up the fact that this is a trans activist shooter again, or a trans shooter. They're covering up the propaganda written on the bullets and the weapons. They're only giving the country half the story, and then they're crying about how, oh, it's not Republicans that are under threat, it's us Democrats. Oh, Trump forgot all about the two Democrats that were assassinated by another Democrat in Minnesota. It's not just violence against Republicans. Well, bullshit. In the last 18 months, we've had 9 different tranny school shooters. Again, we've got to do something to stop these assault trannies. Hopefully, they really do change the ATF forms you fill out when you buy a gun. So if you're a tranny, that we need to add a question on there. It's a DSM-5 mental illness. So if you're being treated for that, no more gun for you. I know that's not going to fix the problem, but again, use the law. Use the tools that are already there. We already have them in front of us. We just need to use them.
Mike, I think I don't know if it's Illinois or everywhere else, but so the people that get marijuana cards are not allowed to get gun cards, right? Or if you're on antidepressants, right?
I don't know about antidepressants, but marijuana cards for sure.
Well, if you're a effing transvestite that's changing your hormones, right? How the hell can you give that person a gun? They're unstable in the first place before they start taking the drugs.
Well, exactly. It's already a DSM-5 mental illness. That hasn't changed. It's just all of a sudden now we're embracing it instead of treating it like the problem it is.
So as we go through the videos here, get the first one, Mike, as you get that ready, I'll just tee it up. So last night, me and my buddy Bill Rubel, Mike Scornovaco, I'm got him confused with Bill Rubel. He is 1 year younger than me, 63 years old. Bill served 20 years in the Navy, and he's the only guy that I know that had more surgeries than me. I had 16 surgeries. Right?
Holy.
Like my left tricep attached, all kinds of crazy shit. Well, he had like 20 some surgeries. He just got out of the VA a week ago. He's got plates everywhere. And he's one of the few guys that we go together to events. So we went to the Hampton Inn in Downers Grove where the Marxists were protesting the ICE agents in there, right? So me and Bill go there, we meet there, and he's got his little wagon where he carries his stuff in. As we're walking together up to the corner where the protesters are, I'm like, Bill, I'm going to pull back, right? I don't want him to know that I'm with you. and they'll think he's one of theirs. And then as he got close, you're going to see this in the video. As he gets closer, they could see his sign. He's got some pretty funny signs. Shit, I should have sent you the stills. And they see his signs coming up. You're going to see these leftists start going in like flies on shit. So you're going to see in this video. And then after that, Mike's got a couple other. I got way more, but I could have used the whole show up, right? Mike, we'll go through a couple other ones.
Yeah, we can run them all. There's still time.
These leftists, peaceful, inclusive. We're Nazis, right? We're Nazis. So here, you watch this scumbag start to gravitate towards my buddy Bill as he gets to the corner. Bill, I hope you're watching, buddy.
All right, here we go. Video 1.
Looks like we got some trouble coming.
See?
You ain't gonna punk me like you did that guy the other day. You need a man, you want your man. What's an 20 years. Oh, 1 against 200. 1 against 100.
It doesn't matter. If you attack people, you get your ass kicked. That's what fucking happens.
Stop it. Don't get in front of me.
Fucking happens.
Take him off, man.
Well, then get out of here. You're not
I'm 20
welcome.
years veteran.
You're not fucking welcome. That doesn't fucking
Who
matter.
gives a fuck what this guy says?
Fuck what you say.
Hey,
Go take a
what's
bath.
it like to be complicit in the death of Charlie Kirk? What's it like that your group is complicit in the death of Charlie Kirk?
He's pro gun rights. Who gives a fuck about him?
Do you support
Who gives a fuck about that motherfucker?
drug addict.
Look at his hands. Look at his hands. Raping women and drug
Who
trafficking.
gives a shit?
Sex trafficking.
So you got me riled up, so I'm shaking a little bit. Who cares? You're the fucking loser. Has nothing better to do than try to instigate.
Wash your hands, you fucking bum.
My hands because I was working today?
Yeah.
I'm like, you
Hey, go
clean
wash
ass
your
piece of
hands.
shit.
All right. So that was when we that was just the beginning. We were there like 30 seconds, and you heard him talking about fuck Charlie Kirk and stuff, right? And you saw Bill didn't go out there starting trouble. The guy came up, right? Confrontational. And as soon as they
Exactly.
tried me, it's like, fuck that, man. We're going at it. And matter of fact, other people have to treat these guys like that. We're at war. Remember, we're at war. When you got the enemy coming up, you got to treat them like a fucking enemy that they are. You got to get in their face, tell them to fuck off. You don't want to get arrested unless you have to. Try to let them hit you first, and you beat the shit out of them. So
Yep.
what's the next one? Do you have it labeled? or-
Just got here. It's starting. Sorry, I can't read the full title. So it's video 2 that you sent. The next one I
yes.
got.
Search and seizure, yeah. Unlawful search and seizure.
And if you have
What?
one
I
action order
do
by
it.
a federal judge, you stop
You better back the fuck up.
I'll stand on that fucking sidewalk, bitch. Do something
Shut the
about
fuck
it.
up.
I'll send you to good
You better
sense.
not take another step towards me.
That's me. I'm going around here.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I will stand here. You put your hands on me, you're going to Good Samaritan. Oh shit. Oh shit. You're a badass. You put your fingers on me. I got a right to stand on you like a bum. I got a right to stand here. I'm not threatening anybody.
Yeah, he told, so again, Bill's like pretty battered. But he does not back down. Bill does not
Good.
back down. And that's why I'm like, fuck that. I went around Bill. He told Bill not to take a step forward. So I took a step on there. He was on a curb and I stood next to him like, what now? What are you going to do? Obviously, he didn't do shit like most of these fuckers.
Exactly.
Right. So,
Who's this lady?
all right. So this lady here is, she's big, as you can see, a big mouth, right? She might be fun
Yeah.
after a few drinks.
Yeah, maybe. As long as you don't talk politics.
But
She's taking a bath.
no, sorry. So she was praising the death and murder of Charlie Kirk, right? So we have I think the videos after this, right, Mike?
Yeah, I've got the
And,
video queued now.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll it.
They're
that someone has to
repealing
die
gangster.
in order to keep
They're
your
repealing
gun laws.
gangster.
He volunteered himself. He
So you
volunteered
think-
himself.
you
I
think-
don't give a fuck about
So
it. He volunteered himself.
I don't give a fuck.
Why don't you care about the Democrats that were murdered in their homes? What about the children? The children getting shot in school. There were children shot at today in school. Your president gang rapes people, and you're sitting here talking about rape? What's fucking wrong with you?
I'll give you
What's
five
fucking
dollars.
wrong with you?
You're a liar.
What's fucking wrong with you?
You're a
Fucking
liar.
racist. Big man.
Oh, yeah,
Big
racist.
man.
Nice fanny
Are you
pack.
proud of yourself?
So, so just so you guys know, you got to scream back at them because you got to see you don't have all the videos. You know, they get around us, they blow whistles in our ears, they scream megaphones, and you know they try to overtalk you. So you got, I mean, it's like I said, we're in a war. You know,
Yeah.
and they're lying. What about the Democrats that were killed? What are you talking about? Or the children that were killed? The hell are you talking about? All you know, Black Lives Matter. So think about this statistics. And my buddy Jack Lombardi sent me this. In 2001, go from 2001 to 2025, right?
Mhm.
Of that quarter of a century, including how many years were we in war at that time, Mike, from the beginning to the end?
So
You know, about-
from what years?
Yeah, how many years were we in war? Like 15 or 20?
This century?
In Iraq and Afghanistan, was it like, I don't know, it was like 15 years or something?
20 there between the two of them.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. So from 2001 to 2025, think about this, folks that are listening, especially those from Chicago and the Democrats that say Black Lives Matter. 21 of the 25 last years, there was more murders in the city of Chicago than there was deaths, killed in action in the military.
Yep. And that's true.
25 years, there was more murders in the city of Chicago than the military. There was only 4 years of that 25 years.
4 days. 4 days.
No, but I'm saying there's 4 years where they exceeded of 25 years. The killed in action was more than the head body count for Chicago.
No, it's 4 days in that 20. I've heard the statistic from somebody else. It's 4. There's only 4 days in those 25 years where there were more people killed in Iraq or Afghanistan than there were in Chicago.
Maybe on a daily basis. I'm talking an annual basis. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking.
Oh, maybe. It was 2000. It was only 2000.
Yeah, I got the columns. I didn't send them to you side by side.
Okay.
It shows, you know, Afghanistan, Iraq, Chicago, you know, every year. So of that whole quarter of a century, 21 years, Chicago had more murders than combined killed in action in Afghanistan and Iraq, except for 4 years. In those 4 years, and I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, the military KIA was a little bit more than Chicago. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it was, you know, it was like just a little bit more than Chicago. Yeah. We have more people, and of that number that Jack sent me, 80% of them are African Americans. So these leftist scumbags that are complaining, right, about the poor African Americans and the racist Republicans are full of shit. They aren't doing anything. Brandon Johnson's not doing anything. Pritzker's not doing anything. So that woman's a piece of shit. What's the next one we got there?
Next one we got, I can see Downers Grove Marxist. Let's roll it.
And I also have Ann Fowler's petition here as well. Did I tell you to sign our petition? Yeah. All right, thanks everyone. Our team Fowler is showing the moral courage and the moral conviction that we need to win this victory. Este compañero enseña la valentía moral y la convicción moral que necesitamos para enfrentar el demonio y vencerlo. ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Hasta la victoria! So when I say hasta la victoria, which means forward victory, we say siempre, which means always. ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Siempre! ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Siempre! ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Siempre! ¡Hasta la victoria! ¡Siempre! Venceremos, venceremos y venceremos. Adelante, adelante, que la lucha es.
So do you guys support Trent Largua and the Venezuelans, the criminals that are right?
Get out of my face.
You're wrong. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Do you guys support Trent Largua?
We support the deportation of the criminals on one vote.
Move along. Come here to do you fucking cunt. Move along. Move along.
Stay as long as you want.
You're really deluded. No, you're deluded. You're deluded. So you guys support the criminal Trent Largua that's in the minority neighborhoods. Can you move along? How many of them got arrested in Oakland? How many?
All right, so my camera went off, which the best part was I wanted to confront that fucking Cuban revolutionary guy. So unknown to me, they encircled me and they had their signs. So I ducked under 2 of them and I hit my thumb off on my camera on my phone, which sucks. And then I went in front of Che. You guys remember Che? They had, yeah. So I went in front of Che and we like went off on each other. He, and then he went to poke me in the face like that. I didn't know that there was a Downers Grove police officer that followed me around because when I walked up, there was 4 squads, and there was another guy there that had his shirt off and he was bleeding on the side of his face. And I was going to say something. And then the last squad, I said, "Listen, I'm going up here by myself. I'm not going to start trouble." And he's like, "Listen, I don't need any violence." I said, "I'm telling you, they always start shit. They always start trouble. I'm not going to start it." And you saw I asked a question.
Yeah.
And I said, "If one of them touches me, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him." He's like, I don't want any violence, So I didn't know the cop was behind me when I was filming. And so I ducked under. I go and confront this Che guy. And then he goes to poke me. And I had my camera and it was off, which sucks. I was just filming. And I thought, "Oh, this is going to be great, And I cock my arm back to whack him. And then the cop grabbed my arm from the back because he was right behind me. And then he's like, let's go. So Che is lucky he's got all his teeth right now.
Yeah.
He does.
We got one more video, that one Unhinged Dangerous. The last one you sent me, I think.
Oh, yeah. So I'll see this one. This was in Orland Park. And this is just another example. So Bill was with me, my old man, my old military boy. And right before this happened, some woman see how they put their signs in our face and stuff? And somebody was doing the same thing to Bill, and he pushed the sign out of his face. They put it in us. They hit us with us, and and Bill pushed it. And so then this guy, this big doughboy, goes up and starts shit with Bill. And the guy was he was a half a head taller than me, and Bill's shorter than me. But the guy was like a typical doughboy liberal piece of shit. So you'll see him first confronting Bill. I don't think you see Bill on camera. And then I had to open my big mouth.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very...
Go ahead and run it.
Yeah.
All right.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Are they a threat to democracy? Yes. Are they going to take our rights away? Yes. Are they going to put people's lives in danger? Yes. Are they going to endanger the planet by not dealing with climate change? Yes.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
She's a genuine danger to American security.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
We have to preserve our democracy, or speak out against lies and hate.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy. Donald Trump is an existential threat to our democracy and our most fundamental freedoms.
Kamala needs to stop saying that President Trump is a threat to democracy. It's now being received by some unhinged people as a call to action. Enough is enough.
How's that, huh, Mike?
Pretty much sums it up.
We should have started with that. I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking disorganized. I'm sorry. I'm swearing more than normal. I'm not in a good mood. Is that other video there? Oh, the one where I confronted that guy, or did I send you the wrong one?
I don't think I have another confrontation video. Let me double check real quick. I might have skipped one by accident.
Yeah, I probably screwed up knowing Mr. ADD here, right?
It happens. No, I don't have any other video. I just have a couple other images.
Why don't you talk? This is a funny one. I got to show it. So why don't you talk? Can I send it to you, Mike? Oh, yeah, there you go. Tell them about this image. So I got a buddy on. So for those of you guys that saw this image, look at the difference. A buddy of mine linked it, did this forensic shit before. Look at that guy's face. So if you're watching, go to my X page, right, and share that. That's it's the first one that came out. It was on the left. This new one is, share that. Look at that guy's face.
Yeah, you can actually see the detail there and see what he looks like. Well, it sounds like the FBI's got a suspect they're looking for that they were able to pull prints off the rifle or the bullets, maybe both. that were still in the magazine, because again, you press them in with your thumb, it leaves a print. Most people don't think about that, but that's how they find them on shell casings. And little internet sleuths, after they released this picture, were also able to track this guy down to a Facebook account, I believe, and then immediately everything got stripped off of that. But it sounds like what the FBI found and what the internet sleuths found match up. They're now looking for this person. I was going to say something else, but I'll have to leave it at that for now.
Yeah, he got a Terry brain fart right there. Oh, here we go. I got it right here. All right, here we go. I'm going to send. You want this on email?
Yeah. Just send it on over, and I can grab it.
Hold on, folks. We did kind of start close to on time today, didn't we?
We did. We were basically on time, like a minute off.
I don't want everyone to get spoiled now.
No, of course not. Oh yeah, we got this too. Whenever you send it, you can. Florida Democrat Steve Cody mocks Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk is a fitting sacrifice to our Lord. Smith and Wesson, hallowed be their names. Again, elected Democrat.
Right. Tell us when some violence happened, like say those people in Minneapolis who the politicians that were killed. I thought that the guy was a Democrat that killed him, right?
Yeah, he was. He had worked for Waltz, so had his wife. Then they went out and argued about it. Oh, well, he had some right-leaning ideology too. Well, he was targeting Democrats that voted against some legislation to support illegal aliens. I think it was to keep them on Medicaid or Medicare. No, Medicaid. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's who he was targeting. He was out there going after Democrats that voted against this stuff. Yeah. They want him on, indefinitely.
So, did you get that video? And that'll be our last video. It's kind of a funny one. I mean, I do swear a little bit, so I just want to give you a warning. So if you're really Christian, then just hang up now and click off the show.
I got a picture, not a. Yeah, there's an image attached. Oh no, sorry, I just got it. I got a second email. All right, I'm grabbing it right now.
So, but I do want to thank my buddy Bill Laubert. He goes out by himself as well, just like I do, and I give him lots of credit. Old Navy boy, old salty dog. Oh, I got updates while you're doing this. So my the presumptive nominee for governor, self-proclaimed the leading candidate for governor.
Yeah.
So he was served a $250,000 defamation lawsuit by Sheriff Mendrick. He was served a temporary restraining order by Sheriff Mendrick. He's got an order of protection and 2 criminal investigations that are still going on for violating the order of protection. He's got my a new friend that I met after this all started, a $50,000 defamation lawsuit against him up in Waukegan. And then he's been attacking the Jewish community. He's got one of the most nastiest anti-Jewish people around that's on his campaign. She was calling for the extermination of Jews. She said that if her DNA came back with any Jew in her, she's going to commit suicide. She runs his campaign. So now the Chicago Jewish community, the Chicago Jewish Coalition, is aggressively exposing this guy. And you know what? He did not denounce her. You know what he said? Like typical lying bullshit. The Rhino said. He said it was AI. This is the same guy that wanted to hire an IT guy to create fake AI images of Sheriff Mendrick doing meth with 14-year-old girls. Same guy that he wanted to hire to come after me to make up goofy shit about me and all his lies. So now that guy's done. He's done. He said he was going to cancel me. Cancel this. Cancel this, buddy.
Exactly. All right, we got this last video queued up.
No, I'm just letting you know if you threaten me. You accuse me of something I didn't do. Take a fucking walk. Take a walk. Go home and pay for some games. Go home and pay for some
Go take that stick and put it up your pussy.
I said, shut up your pussy, bitch! Come on, you get this real. It's so beautiful, huh? What are you gonna do, you fucking doughboy bitch? Go ahead. No, you can't be my friend, bro. You, come on, boy. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on, boy. Walk away, cunt. Or what are you gonna do? Why are you shaking? Your lips I'm shaking. Yeah, you are. Yeah, when I'm pissed off, that happens. I can see the fat rippling up and down your fucking belly.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
You're the twat who put your hands on a woman. I didn't touch a woman. They're putting shakes in our faces. You fucking.
Sorry. So that, I mean, we got to treat them the same way they treat us. So I apologize for my Christian friends out there. Being that I'm a Catholic, I'll go to confession on
Confession.
Sunday. Yeah, we'll start all over on Monday.
That's right. And then we can give it to him again next week.
Yeah, right. So, well, thank you, Mike. Again, it's just been such a crazy time with what happened to Charlie and our country. We're losing somebody that was going to be so important to the future of this country, right? To our children, grandchildren, long after we're dead, right? The guy had 40 years left in him. And
he was 31. He spent almost half his life out there in this fight. He started 13 years, how long he built up TPUSA. Who knows what he did before that. But I mean, I do think other leaders will step up in his place, but there will be only one Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, Mike. He's from Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And he went to Glenbard High School, and there's people tonight doing a vigil for him right here, not far from my house in Lamont. His first TPUSA when he was like 18. I know a couple guys that helped fund him in the beginning. So they're out there praying for him. Actually, it started at 7. I would have been there if we didn't have our show. At his first office in downtown Lamont on Main Street, right? And the guy was like, not as only smart, passionate, he's an asset to our country. He was a good businessman.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the other big thing. He was building up more organizations, growing their power. A lot of people, one of the things I've heard said several times is he was basically replacing the RNC. He was bringing in more funds to operate, having a bigger impact and doing more damage to the left's agenda. And again, that's what we really need, are leaders like that. We need somebody like that that's actually running the Republican Party instead of these wusses like we keep getting that refuse to fight, play nice, back down every time they talk tough. And again, that's why we're in this situation right now, because we wouldn't stand up earlier. So we better not forget now.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Make sure you share that image of the shooter, and it's on my for those of you who are on X America News, go on, Terry Newsom 357. Mike will put that image up there too, please, Mike.
Yeah, we'll retweet it over there in a second.
Yeah, send it to Derek and everybody, right?
Yeah.
And do whatever we can to track this piece of shit down and hold them accountable for the death penalty that they have in the state of Utah.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Utah's governor, even though he's talking tough yesterday, this guy's another useless rhino, undocumented Democrat. Yeah, unfortunately, he's done a lot to prop up what's going on in Colorado. He's just about worthless himself. But, maybe he'll stick to it with enough public pressure. Because, this guy should be swinging from a noose. We need a public execution. The people demand justice. We've got to have real deterrence. We've got to start pushing back against this nonsense. Really, what we need is like a Bukele-style crackdown. He's got most of MS-13 locked up on a couple aircraft hangars. Now suddenly they've gone from one of the most dangerous countries on earth to one of the safest. And that's the kind of crackdown we need here now. You get these violent, mentally ill leftists off the streets.
Oh my God! I got one last comment. I know I do this every week, don't I, Mike? I watched Eric Trump this morning, right? Talking about the attempted assassinations of his father. 2 attempted assassinations. They talked about Charlie Kirk and the congressional shooting and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised the left has not been attacking him throughout the day for what he said. And I agree with everything he said. Eric Trump said, "I'm tired of the bullets flying in one direction. I'm tired of the bullets flying in one direction." Call it whatever. I'm proud and I support that he said that, and people have to start protecting ourselves. We have to protect ourselves, right?
Exactly. Especially if you're in a red state. If these people come up and physically assault you or violate the law, it's time to give them some street justice. The minute you're in the right and legally able to defend yourself, Once they cross that line, do it. They're not going to show back up after you do that. These people are a bunch of wimps. They think they have strength in numbers, and they know that they wouldn't get, until recently, they knew they weren't going to get prosecuted for anything. So it's time to make that change.
Yeah. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. And thanks again for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't.